Mr. President, Chair of the University Council, members of the University, ladies and gentlemen, graduands. Mae'n hyfrydwch o'r mwyaf gen I gael eich croesawu chi yma I Prifysgol Cymru, y Drindod Dewi Sant, yma I gampws Lampeter Pont Steffan, ar gyfer y seremoni hon, ar gyfer cyflwyno graddau I raddedigion y Brifysgol. Braf iawn gweld y neuadd yma Norlan. It's a great pleasure for me as Vice-Chancellor to welcome you all here to the University of Wales, Trinity St David, for the conferment of degrees for the class of 2019. For the next 2 weeks, we will be celebrating the success of the graduands. We will be joining with family and friends and saluting your success. We stand here in our academic regalia as members of the faculty of the university, linking the traditions of the medieval collegium and the modern world. And we do that to honour you, to pay tribute to you, as you now start on your journey, on your professional journey. And I'm delighted that we are having the opportunity of coming here together in Lampeter, in this historic seat of learning, which is at the heart of this university. 3 years have gone past so quickly, and I'm sure you will reflect upon the excellent opportunities that you have had here, or within your colleges. And it's so nice to see so many of our partner colleges here today as well. It's a shame I can't capture the glee or the smiles on the faces of your family here. They're very proud of you, extremely proud of you. If I could just capture the smile or the twinkle in the eye. Can I suggest that there's never been a better opportunity than this afternoon to ask them for that £5,000 for that new car? I think you'll find that all of you will see the cheque will be in the post. But today is it's a day for celebrating, for laughing, for rejoicing, and for marking success. It's also an opportunity, of course, for us as academic staff and graduands to thank you for all the support that you have given your colleagues, your children, your partners over the last couple of years. It's not easy these days to support youngsters as they go through university education. And I'm sure that you would want to join with me to express your gratitude to your families and friends for the support. Diolch yn fawr iawn. Can I also take this opportunity of thanking on your behalf the academic staff? We're very fortunate in the quality of the academic staff and professional staff within the university and within this faculty. In difficult times, extremely difficult times for this university and across the United Kingdom, the staff have delivered excellent quality research and teaching and have supported you in your academic studies. And may I, on behalf of the university and also on your behalf, thank them for the excellent work. Diolch I chi am eich blaen. University convocations are an opportunity to celebrate the success of the graduands, but also to bestow fellowship and honorary distinction on worthy men and women who have made a contribution to the life of Wales. And I'm delighted this afternoon that we have the honour of bestowing an honorary degree upon Ms Sophie Howe, the Future Generations Commissioner for Wales. Others will present her to convocation, but I am so pleased that you are with us, and thank you for the leadership you are showing to secure a better future for the citizens of Wales. Croeso cynnes. We live in a world where STEM and the value of STEM comes first. Within the university world, mention STEM and the millions will follow. Within a university world, mention the importance of science, of engineering, of mathematics, and everybody will follow you. And yet, within a world that is calling out for leadership, that is calling out for some direction, sometimes we forget that it is not only the value of STEM that is important within civilized society. It is also people who can think and feel. People who have an understanding of their past, of the importance of civilizations long gone, but their relevance are as important today as they were so many years ago. And that is why this campus, this faculty that focuses upon the humanities is at the heart of what we do. Yes, of course, we live within a digital connected world where big data, automation, AI is key. But those don't really help governments to take decisions. They don't really make a difference in the context of making any sense of a connected world. We need politicians, yes, who can understand the issues of connectivity, but more than anything, we need politicians and leaders who will listen, who have emotional intelligence. And something tells me that a degree in the humanities allows us to consider and see the value of not only the traditions of the past, but to learn from the past. To learn from the core values which are linked with history, with philosophy, with world religions, with anthropology, and reflect upon the best practice of traditions and relate them today. And I hope you have had the opportunity here in Lampeter to ask the question, what do I stand for? How do I facilitate a better future? And what is my role with an ever-changing community and society? You are the lucky ones. You have been given the opportunity to spend quality time testing, structuring arguments, deconstructing arguments, and coming up with new ideas. The creative spirit that you hopefully have found in Lampeter is a creative spirit that you will take with you. Today, many of you gain your BA. That's excellent news. But do remember, those are the only first two letters of the alphabet. There's so much more to learn within the University of Life. We forget the value of the humanities, the value of those core values that are linked to civilizations of old, that have core traditions and core values that we should remember. I'm so pleased that there are so many here today focusing on the areas of religious study, theology, anthropology, and philosophy, key areas of discipline for this university. And as we invest in these areas for the future, and I'm pleased that we have, over the last 2 years, invested over $1 million in postgraduate scholarships in interfaith and intercultural studies. These are the areas which we need. Politicians need to understand the commonality of cultures, the coming together of traditions, and you are key leaders of change. We will hear more in the moment about future-proofing. We have a commissioner, the first commissioner in the name of a country that focuses on future-proofing. But you are the future-proofers. You are the individuals now that have the opportunity to go out there and make a difference. Whatever you choose to do, you will be able to use the skills that you have from this college, from this university, and make a difference. And when you fail, as you will, and there's nothing wrong with failure, just pick yourself up and start again. And when you do see somebody down at heel, go down and support them, because you will learn more in the act of that process than any textbook on any civilization. Learn the importance of compassion and humility. We live in a world where dogma, where political statements are more important than the values of communities. And you, as change makers, as future-proofers of communities, can reflect on the traditions of the past and focus on the truth. Stand up for that truth. Those who believe, stand up for what you believe, for the faith you believe in, and find the common ground. Because it is in the common ground between the different traditions of our communities that we will find a future, a sustainable future, that places dogma aside, that places economic merit aside. The future-proofing of our communities depend on individuals like you who will speak up for what you believe in and take that forward. Seek the common good and build upon the common good, and take with you a part of Lampeter. Take with you a part of the humanities of Lampeter, and let that help you on your journey of life. Be confident. Be challengers. Be prepared to stand up for what you believe, and be those change agents that can make a difference. Whether you realize that or not, when you leave this convocation today, you will be admitted to a guild of graduates where there are hundreds and thousands of graduates all over the world that carry with them on their professional CV a single word: Do you know what that word is? Wales. Cymru, the University of Wales, Trinity, St. David. Today you become ambassadors for this great country. This great country that placed education at the heart of social and economic reform. Never forget on your journey that you are ambassadors of the country and of the university. All I can say is God bless you. May his countenance always be with you. May his spirit and may his power support you as you start on your journey. Be true to yourself and make a difference. Class of 2019 of this university, the University of Wales, Trinity, St. David, I wish you well. I bid you joy. Pob dymuniad da.
Gorau awen gwirionedd, bydded hysbys i aelodau'r Prifysgol ac i bawb sydd yn bresennol y cynhelir ar y 12fed o Orffennaf 2019. Yma'n Rhef Llambedr Ponsteffan, cynulliadau awdurdodedig Prifysgol Cymru a Drindod Dewi Sant. I dderbyn yw priodol raddau bersonau da ei gair sydd trwy frydiaeth yn y brifysgol a thrwy ddisg, medr a dyfalbarhad wedi teilyngu'r cyfryw raddau yn unol ac ordeiniadau'r cyrff dyfarnu gyda phob gweddi a dymuniad ar iddynt fwynhau iechyd a hir hoedel i wasanaethu eu cenhedlaeth a'i gwlad dan fendith y nef. Yna, do eleini a gyfyd mewn tywyllwch a dywyllwch a fydd fel hanner dydd, a rhai a fyddant ohono ti a adeiladant yr hen ddiffeithleoedd. Gore awen gwirionedd. The best inspiration is truth. Be it known to members of the university and to all here present that authorised congregations of the University of Wales Trinity St David are being held here in the town of Lampeter on the 12th day of July 2019 to admit to their appropriate degrees worthy persons who have, through study at the university and through learning, ability and perseverance, been deemed worthy of such degrees in accordance with the ordinances of the awarding bodies, in the hope that they may be given health and long life to serve their generation and their country under the blessing of heaven. Then shall thy light rise in obscurity, and thy darkness be as the noonday, and they that shall be of thee shall build the old waste places.
Bydded hysbys i aelodau'r Brifysgol ac i bawb sydd yn bresennol fod Prifysgol Cymru a Drindod Dewi Sant wedi rhoddi'r awdurdod i'r athro Medwyn Hughes dderbyn i'w graddau fyfyrwyr Prifysgol Cymru a Drindod Dewi Sant a enillodd raddau yn unol ar rheolau'r Brifysgol. Gwylir enwau'r myfyrwyr y gellir ei derbyn i'w graddau yn y cynulliad hwn yn y rhestri printiedig sydd wedi ei dosbarthu. Let it be known to members of the University and to all who are present that the University of Wales Trinity St David has granted authority to Professor Medwyn Hughes to admit to their degrees students of the University of Wales Trinity St David who have qualified for degrees according to the regulations of the university. The names of the students that can be admitted to their degrees during this congregation can be found on the printed lists that have been distributed.
Yn ryderus isgen hethlo, cyflwynafu ti, disgyblion o Prifysgol Cymru, e Drindod Dewi Sant, a ennill lwythrath doetha miawn athroniaeth. Honourable Vice-Chancellor, I present to you students of the University of Wales Trinity St David who have gained the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Deborah Alemi Jones. Gregory Carey. Mary Morgan. Alison Claire Scott. Am ryderus isgen hethlo, cyflwynafu ti, disgyblion o'r Prifysgol Cymru e Drindod Dewi Sant, a ennill lwythrath Master trwy ymchwil. Honourable Vice-Chancellor, I present to you student of the University of Wales Trinity St David who has gained the degree of Master by Research, Michael Sean Thomas Hegarty. Arideris is genhethlo, cyfloen a fi ti, disgyblion o Prifysgol Cymru, Drindod Dewi Sant. A ennill lwythrath, athro yn y Celfythydau. Honourable Vice-Chancellor, I present to you students of the University of Wales Trinity St David who have gained the degree of Master of Arts. Olivia Jane Gomez. Rhys Morris. Jasmine Kaur Tyre. Victor Anthony Thomas Hart. Wen Chu Chan. Shi Yang Chen. Yu Han Hong. Daniel Jenkins. Francesca Turco. Ahmed Ali Hassan Mohammed. Mabang Anna. Jill Hamill. Alex Michael Neville. Pierre-André Dupré. Robis A. De Silva, André De Silva. Elizabeth Ann Rayner. Arideris is genhethlo, cyfloen a fi ti, disgyblion o Prifysgol Cymru, Drindod Dewi Sant. A ennill lwythrath, athro miawn, dwyniaeth. Honourable Vice-Chancellor, I present to you students of the University of Wales Trinity St David who have gained the degree of Master of Theology. John Gilbert Allott.
Thank you.
Catherine Daniluk. Timothy Tawfiq Izzat. John Anthony Andrew. Trevor Lawrence Jose. Edward Alan Richard Lynn. Roy Maddox. Erica Mariana Rain. An rydeddus is genhethlo, cyfloen a fi ti, disgyblion o Prifysgol Cymru, Drindod Dewi Sant. A ennill lwythrath, Master Miawn Celfythydau. Honourable Vice-Chancellor, I present to you students of the University of Wales Trinity St David who have gained the degree of Master in Arts. Laura James Bronswell. Ronald David Lewis. Crystal Kerr. Am rydeddus I sgenhethlo cyflwynafu ti, disgybl o'i Prifysgol Cymru e Drindod Dewi Sant, a ennill loeth diploma olrythedig. Honourable Vice-Chancellor, I present to you student of the University of Wales, Trinity, St David, who has gained a postgraduate diploma. Laura Dennick. Am rydeddus I sgenhethlo cyflwynafu ti, disgyblion o'i Prifysgol Cymru e Drindod Dewi Sant, a ennill loeth dystysgrif olrythedig. Honourable Vice-Chancellor, I present to you students of the University of Wales, Trinity, St David, who have gained a postgraduate certificate. Eric Kojo Mensah. Joni Lumbra. A rydeddus I sgenhethlo cyflwynafu ti, disgybl o'i Prifysgol Cymru e Drindod Dewi Sant, a ennill loeth diploma crythedig. Honourable Vice-Chancellor, I present to you a student of the University of Wales, Trinity, St David, who has gained a graduate diploma. Rachel Nelms. A rydeddus I sgenhethlo cyflwynafu ti, disgyblion o'i Prifysgol Cymru e Drindod Dewi Sant, a ennill loethrath bagla yn y celfythydau. Honourable Vice-Chancellor, I present to you students of the University of Wales, Trinity, St David, who have gained a degree of Bachelor of Arts. Alexandra Lucy Dunstan. Rebecca Claire Lingua. Rufus Hugh Maynard Malin. Tracy Heather McGilvray. Stephen Moyes. Gregors Palka. Dagan Joe Simpson. Ryan Quinn. Rosemary Loveday Northover. Andile Unlube.
No. Just call me Andy.
Andy.
Thank you so much.
Thomas James Llewellyn. Rebecca Jane West. Susan Elizabeth Adams. Michael Shane Douglas. Pearl Ifani Moha. Cameron James Williams. Michaela Nicole Sarah Batten. Jeffrey Emerson Martin. Dylan Nicholas John Palmer. Emily Aspin Gunn. Alexandra Owen Smith. Jordan Kelsey Gray. Michael Lars Carl Thomas. Grace Magenta Allen. Catherine Elizabeth Cornelius Friend. Jack James Morgan. Samuel George Evans. Samuel Tobias Nayland Evans. Geraint Llewellyn Scales. Georgina Charmley. Timothy James Salt. Shauna Campbell Cross. Emily Ruth Davis Stevens. Aryderus Isgen Hethlo. Cymrudoef E.T. Disgybl o Prifysgol Cymru, Drindod Dewi Sant. A enillwaith diploma athysg uwch, Arol Mawolaeth. Honourable Vice-Chancellor, I commend to you a student of the University of Wales, Trinity St David, who has gained a posthumous diploma of higher education, the late Colin Howard Parks. I will now present students of this university who have studied at Newbold College. Aryderus Isgen Hethlo, cyflwynafu ti, disgyblion o Prifysgol Cymru, Drindod Dewi Sant. A enillwaith rath athro yn y celfyddydau. Honourable Vice-Chancellor, I present to you students of the University of Wales Trinity St David who have gained a degree of Master of Arts. Mary Beth Daphne Frank. Claudio Edward Gulas. Clifford Colin Herman. Samir Mohammed Kuala. Joao Filippo Pinheiro Macedo. Kwame Bakay Mensah Saprong. Erno Oz Farkas. Arideris Isken Hethlo, Cyfloen Aviti, Disgybl o Prifysgol Cymru, Drindod Dewi Sant. Ennill Lwyth Dystysgrif Olryddedig. Honourable Vice-Chancellor, I present to you a student of the University of Wales Trinity St David who has gained a postgraduate certificate. Forrest Douglas. Arideris Isken Hethlo, Cyfloen Aviti, Disgybl o Prifysgol Cymru, Drindod Dewi Sant. Ennill Lwyth Diploma Grathedig. Honourable Vice-Chancellor, I present to you as students of the University of Wales Trinity St David who have gained a graduate diploma. Austin John Blackburn. Felipe Rodriguez Lessa. Arnoud Edwin van der Broek. Amryderis Isken Hethlo, Cyfloen Aviti, Disgybl o Prifysgol Cymru, Drindod Dewi Sant. Ennill Lwyth Rath, Bagla yn y Celfyddydau. Honourable Vice-Chancellor, I present to you students of the University of Wales Trinity St David who have gained a degree of Bachelor of Arts. Valentina Erdely. Robert Gitan. Jefferson Matthew John Malecki.
Come on, Jefferson!
Safina Lowe. Dorothea Relic. Johannes Samaras. Naftal Zinyemba. I will now present students of this university who have studied at St Padden's Institute. Amryderis Isken Hethlo, Cyfloen Aviti, Disgybl o Prifysgol Cymru, Drindod Dewi Sant. Ennill Lwyth Rath, Bagla Miawn Diwyniaeth. Honourable Vice-Chancellor, I present to you students of the University of Wales Trinity St David who have gained a degree of Bachelor of Theology. Rosamond Helen Crawford. Victoria Day. Evelyn Jill Jones. Darren David Miller. Helen Nichols.
students that have been presented to the university, would you please stand so I can formally admit you to your degree? Pwy o Graddio y Prifysgol Lampeter i mi, derbynioch chi'ch graddau diplomau priodol ac I holl freiniau y cymwysterau hynny. Yn enw Prifysgol Cymru, y Drindod Dewi Sant.
Boed eich gofal yn wastad dros lwydd ac anrydedd a'n prifysgol a'n gwlad.
Croeso I sefydliad graddedigion y Brifysgol.
Croeso I Cymdeithas Llambed Congratulations and welcome to the Lampeter Society.
Congratulations, you are now graduates and ambassadors of the University of Wales.
Amen.
That's another graduate for the future.
Yn rydeddus isgen hethlo Cymru VT ddisgyblion o Prifysgol Cymru Drindod Dewi Sant. Nad ydyn yn bresennol yn ymseremni hon, ond sy'n gymhoes I dderbyn cymhoesta. Mae henwau wedi a cyfnodi yn ganolog. Honourable Vice-Chancellor, I commend to you students of the University of Wales Trinity St David who are not present at this ceremony but have duly qualified for an award. The names of these students are recorded centrally.
Dwi o Drindod y Brifysgol Lampeter I mi, derbyniaf y myfyrwyr hynny ar gyfer I graddau a'i diplomau priodol yn enw Prifysgol Cymru, y Drindod Dewi Sant.
Yn ryderus isgen hethlo cyflwynafu T ddisgyblion a ennill lwyth ysgol oriaethau Prifysgol. Honourable Vice-Chancellor, I present to you students who have won university bursaries. The Professor Alan McFarlane and Sarah Harrison Prize for Anthropology. Gregor's Polka. The Annette Knight Prize for Church History, John Allott. The Canon Daniel Richard Prize for Religion and Ethics, Jack Morgan. The Helen McCormack Turner Undergraduate Memorial Scholarship, Timothy Salt. Geraint Scales.
Shmai a croeso, hello and welcome, and I think that's enough Welsh from me. As most of you will know, I am Martha, your newly elected Lampeter Campus President, and I have been given the great honour of congratulating you all today and hopefully leaving you with some words of wisdom. This time last year, I sat where you are, preparing to move on to the next stage of my life. Well, for me, that wasn't too far, as I chose to stay in Lampeter to continue my studies. But I imagine for a lot of you, the next phase will take you far away from our little town. While you might find yourselves far away, I'd like you to remember the words I was told at my induction as a first year. You are Lampeter. So wherever you may go, no matter how far, you will always take a bit of Lampeter with you. I think we can all agree this is a very special place, and it's the people here that make your time special. So remember that and remember this place. You should all be so immensely proud of yourselves. You're graduating. None of this would be possible if it weren't for your hard work, dedication, and long nights. I'm sure many of you have faced challenges throughout your time here, but the fact that you're here today, graduating, is testimony to how you can overcome and succeed. I want all of you to take this with you. There are always going to be challenges throughout your life, but just remember you can overcome anything and you will always succeed. We've had a brilliant year. Despite challenges that have come our way, we've had some amazing highlights, and I'd like to share some with you. We've had lots of wonderful student-led events this year. We've had a fencing beach clean, reclaim the night, and the medieval day, just to name a few. And this is what we like to see, students leading awards, and we want people to follow in your footsteps. Challenge Cup, we won a match. And that will go down in the history of Lampeter as a great day. But we've also run some very successful elections this year, and we've gained a wonderful set of officers that I'm really excited to work with. But none of this would have been possible without all of you. You should all be proud of what you've done here and what you've done throughout your time. Being a small place, it means that not only do students enjoy the learning, but they get a very special relationship with the staff. This is something I'm sure you can all vouch for, as you'll have a special member of staff that you'll go to for anything, and that relationship makes education a lot more interesting and a lot more enjoyable experience. So, I'm supposed to leave you with some words of wisdom. I'll do my best. I'm going to start with a quote from Oprah Winfrey. So I say to you, forget about the fast lane. If you really want to fly, just harness your power to your passion, honour your calling. Everybody has one. Trust your heart and success will come to you. All of you have proved the immense strength you have. You've completed a degree. Use this and follow your passion, whether it be related to your studies or not. Use that drive and determination. Don't be afraid if you don't know what's next. Find something you love and do that. As Oprah said, trust your heart and success will come to you. So don't aim for success and for power. Aim for happiness and success will follow. So congratulations to all of you and best luck for the future. And I look forward to seeing many of you on the campus in the coming year. And I'm going to leave you with a quote from C.S. Lewis. There are far better things ahead than any we leave behind. Thank you.
Vice-Chancellor, President, Chair, Deputy Chair and members of University Council, colleagues, graduands and guests. I am delighted to present Sophie Howe to this congregation. Sophie Howe took up post as the first Future Generations Commissioner for Wales in early 2016. This new role aims to ensure that Welsh Government and Welsh Public Services decisions are taken with sustainability and the long-term interests of the country at heart. Because the Welsh Government has given Sophie Howe statutory powers to represent current and future generations, she is a public servant with a particularly tricky constituency. The Guardian said earlier this year that some of the people she represents are remote and unresponsive, and they never show up to voice an opinion or tell her if she's doing a good job. They don't even vote, and that's because they haven't yet been born. Sophie Howe is the world's first and still the only Future Generations Commissioner with statutory powers. Other countries have experimented with novel governance mechanisms that allow for the voice of future generations to be heard in policy making, with Israel, Hungary and Canada notable examples. But only Wales has yet enshrined the principle in law that future generations deserve a fair hearing in present political decision-making. In practice, this means the Welsh Government and the public services of Wales, for example, the NHS, local councils, Natural Resources Wales, to name but a few, using the framework outlined in the legislation, are required to translate it in the decisions that they make every day in their roles. In essence, the Act requires those public services of Wales to reframe how they make decisions, away from short-term reactive thinking to thinking longer term, to taking preventative action where possible, to working together to involve stakeholders in decisions, and to integrate into their thinking action on climate change, low-carbon prosperity, biodiversity enhancement, improved physical and mental health, community cohesion, equality, and support for the Welsh language and culture. As Commissioner, Sophie's role is to ensure that decisions taken today don't compromise the interests of Welsh citizens tomorrow. She advises and holds to account the Welsh Government and the wider public sector on what their new statutory obligations entail. She has told me that she thinks she has the coolest job in Wales, but she is also steely. Talk is welcome but cheap, she says. To genuinely protect our future generations, concrete actions are needed now. Sophie takes her duty to the unborn very seriously. In recent months, she argued successfully that a £1.1 billion investment into a short relief road to the M4 in southeast Wales would destroy internationally accredited biodiversity sites and saddle Wales's unborn with a huge debt. The Welsh First Minister announced a month ago that the project would not go ahead in that form. Through Sophie's work, the Welsh Act is becoming of interest to other countries in the world. Only 2 weeks ago, Lord Bird, founder of the Big Issue magazine, proposed a private members' bill calling for a similar commissioner role for the UK as a whole. The New Zealand government recently sent a delegation to Wales to learn more about the innovative Welsh model. Vice-Chancellor, so many of today's young people are finding their futures less secure than our generation. Whether that is in relation to their own prospects in jobs and home ownership, or global crises, climate, insects, water, food production, which untackled could threaten us all and our descendants. Here in this university, as a responsible educator of the leaders of tomorrow, with the strong support of the Students' Union, we have voluntarily adopted the spirit of the Wellbeing of Future Generations legislation throughout our culture, curriculum, campuses and community relationships, and have received many UK-wide awards for our work. It is therefore particularly appropriate for us to recognise and endorse Sophie's role as Wellbeing of Future Generations Commissioner in Wales. What makes a suitable background for the first incumbent of the Future Generations Commissioner role? Her CV seems almost a Slumdog Millionaire preparation for the role. She understands Welsh politics and government. When I first met Sophie, she was the youngest elected councillor in Wales at the age of 21, and more recently a government special advisor providing policy and political advice on communities, local government, community safety, housing, regeneration and equality. She's worked for the Equality and Human Rights Commission, and prior to her taking up the role, Sophie was the first Deputy Police and Crime Commissioner for South Wales, where she led programmes to tackle violent crime and violence against women and girls, focusing particularly on early intervention and partnership working. She reformed programmes on substance misuse and offender management and negotiated the first shared work programme between Public Health Wales and South Wales Police. All this as well as being a mum to 5 children. Vice-Chancellor, John Rawls, the American philosopher, says, "Do unto future generations as you would have past generations do unto you." There is no better message than this for a university that takes educating future generations for leadership in an uncertain world seriously. And no better person to honour in this context than the first Future Generations Commissioner in the world, in this, our country of Wales. Is-Gynhellwr. Anrhydesydd Ich-Gynhellwr, cyflwyna fi ti, Sophie Howe, yw'r dderbyn y radd dwythyr i Prifysgol honoris causa.
Awd am o'r rhaid dda, da gan y Brifysgol dy gyfarch, a chyflwyno ti gradd dwythyr anrhydedd yn enw Cymru.
Diolch yn fawr iawn. It is a very great honour and privilege to be presented with this honorary doctorate. As a proud Welsh woman and as a sustainable development champion, I am certainly delighted that this award has come from a university which not only embodies everything that is celebrated about Welsh culture and language, yr iaith, y diwylliant, but also a university which is living and breathing the sustainable future that we want to create for Wales. We may be on a campus which dates back to 1822, but certainly the ethos of this university is one of preparing its students for the future. And not just a future based on the current trajectory of the status quo, but one which challenges conventional wisdom on the economy, on how we live cohesively rather than confrontationally with our environment. The point of education is not just to prepare its students for future jobs, but to prepare them for a life well lived. Not just to enter into the market as global consumers, but enter into the world as global citizens. Scientist and futurologist Martin Rees has written, "What happens this century will resonate for thousands of years," adding, "This century is the first where one species, ours, is so empowered and dominant that it has the planet's future in its hands. And as students who leave this university today, you will become part of the last generation who can secure the world's fate or secure its future." In her no-holds-barred UN address, teenager activist Greta Thunberg called out global leaders, telling them, "You're not mature enough to tell it like it is. Even that burden you leave to us children. You say you love your children above all else, and yet you're stealing their future in front of their very eyes." And she's right. The issue of climate change is an issue of intergenerational injustice and inequality. Generation Greta have had enough of democratic systems that render them voiceless and fail to factor their futures into their decisions. Over a century ago, Wales was at the forefront of the Industrial Revolution, and now, as the only country in the world with legislation to protect the interests of future generations, we are at the forefront of a movement which is reverberating across the world. A movement which is calling for a new economic model to ensure growth benefits the many and is within the context of planetary boundaries. A movement which recognises that the well-being of people and the well-being of planet, economy, environment, society and culture are all intrinsically linked. We are aiming in Wales not just to do the same things better, but to do better things. That is why when our legislation was passed in 2015, the United Nations came to Wales and said, "We hope what Wales is doing today, the world will do tomorrow." They also said, "Action, more than words, is the hope for future generations." And I'm proud to be part of a growing team of disruptors leading that charge in Wales. I'm proud to be sharing a platform with Jane Davidson, who I think was probably one of the original disruptors. The person who said that the decisions that we take in Wales will be around a one planet framework, that we will set an ambition to be the best in the world at reducing and reusing our waste, who said that we will be the first country in the world to legislate for sustainable development. And so I'm thankful to Jane and others who have inspired me, and also thankful for the experiences that I have had in my life. Yes, the positive ones, but also, and more so in fact, the more challenging ones, the failures, because with the strength of determination, you can flip those to be the best thing that ever happened to you. I grew up in Ely, an area of Cardiff which was often in the headlines for the wrong reasons, with high levels of unemployment, crime and poverty. I was the first in my family to go to university. I fell pregnant in university, but I had a determination that that would not make me just another statistic. I've not fitted neatly into any kind of stereotype throughout my life, but then I'd rather be bold than fit the mould, and I'm a firm believer in bringing our real lives to our jobs. So the experiences that I have as a woman, a mum now of 5 children, the people that I grew up with and the community I grew up in are what makes me so fortunate to be in the position that I am now, but also so committed to reforming a system which continues to fail so many. So this is personal. It'll be personal for parents and grandparents across the country. My 5 children depend on the actions I take, and they also depend on you. We owe it to them, all of us. They're a reminder that we all have a duty to leave them more than an empty bank balance and a broken planet. We know that the lives that generations coming behind us will lead will be very different to the ones that we lead now. We know that they will live in a world where there'll be artificial intelligence, robots and automation. It will change the ways that we live and work, where the population will be bigger and older, where the climate will be hotter. But they say that the best way to plan for the future is to go out there and to create it. The Wellbeing of Future Generations Act and the movement that we are building right here in Wales, in this university and across the country, offers Wales that chance of setting the tone for a better future. It gives the permission, the onus and the legal imperative to change, but it will only be as good as those who are implementing it. They will be people like many of you graduating today. It was Mark Twain who said, the 2 most important days in your life are the day you're born and the day you find out why. For me, if I can play a small part in changing the ways that we do things so that our children and our grandchildren, the kids who are being born where I was born and the kids who are being born on the other side of the world can have a safe and bright and ecologically sound future, then I found out the why. Thank you.
President of the University, Vice-Chancellor, Deputy Chair of Council, our new doctorate, Sophie Howe, and graduands. It's absolutely wonderful to be here today to offer my congratulations to you on behalf of the University Council and to wish you every success in the future. Last week, it was this week actually. I'm getting a bit confused. This week, we gave David Anderson also an honorary degree. He's the head of the museums in Wales. And he told us about people's story and how those individual stories make up the story of a nation, Wales. If you're from England, your story is a part of the story of England or Scotland or Northern Ireland. So in other words, people's individual stories are important. Now today, your story continues, but of course Lampeter is a part of that story. And you will look back and reflect on your time here and what you have achieved. And most likely in future, your children, your grandchildren will look back and say, oh, McGee, Daki, or whoever, grandfather, grandmother, whoever, had a degree in that university. So the story continues. And the story of Lampeter is an interesting one because it started in 1822, nearly 200 years ago. A story where a bishop called Burgess identified the need of a new higher education establishment to train mainly clerics for the Anglican Church in Wales. But it's more than about training Anglican clerics. Because the story of Lampeter is one which has quite a surprising and interesting development. If I take you to the 1850s, we had a vice principal here called Roland Williams. And he brought 2 things to this establishment. He introduced the game of rugby. From his time in Cambridge, he had seen the game being developed, and so introduced it here in Wales. And so Lampeter is the birthplace of Welsh rugby. And as a nation, we owe him a great debt of gratitude. But the other thing was that he had a vision of study in terms of faith and religious experience, which I think was quite unique at that period, because he could see the potential in people understanding the faiths of other people. Multi-faith discipline, interfaith discipline, trying to understand the cultures and the faiths of other individuals. And the reality was, he was a man before his time. He was a visionary. I'm sure he would be thrilled today, because sitting in front of me are graduates who studied Christian theology, Buddhist theology, Islamic theology, and that dialogue, that interfaith dialogue, is so important for the future of our planet. Because more than ever, we need a deeper understanding of the culture, the faith of other people in our world today. We need a deeper understanding of what makes people tick. Because, unfortunately, populism can destroy what we believe in. There are very many fundamentals where mutual respect, care for each other, irrespective of the color of your skin, of the faith you have, or the culture you come from. The truth is, we need to work together for a world which can be changed and transformed, and where people can live in peace and in harmony. I've got some grandchildren. They're very interested, actually, at the age of 9 years of age. I've got twin grandsons. And they've been interested in my story. And the questions have been quite challenging on occasions, I must admit. But they wanted to know something about me. What I did, which school I went to, what university I went to. And I said I came to Lampeter. But also they were interested in what happened nearly a century ago, because they'd learnt about it in school, about the First World War. And they said, to Key, grandfather, I said, did we have anybody in our family who fought in that war? And I said, yes. Your great-great-grandfather was a pilot in the Royal Air Force. Actually, the beginning of the Royal Flying Corps, the start of the Royal Air Force. And the questions were incredible. They said, well, what would have happened if he had died, as most people did fly in those machines? And I said, well, his story would have ended, and your and my story would not have begun. Now, the important thing for us is to ensure that many of the people and the children of this world have stories which can begin. And that's why the future generation role is critical for the future of this nation and the future of the world. Because the stories of people yet to be born are critical for the future of this world. You, as graduates of this university, have a huge challenge on your hands. But you come from different cultures, different backgrounds, and that's so important. You've studied together, you've worked together, and you are an example, actually, to what we should be doing in the greater worldview. So may I offer you my sincere congratulations, wish you every success in the future. May God bless you, and may you achieve things for those who are yet unborn and whose story has not yet begun.
you please be upstanding to receive the university standard?